All right. Um, so I'm just going to quickly do some playing around with the project that we have been working on for a while now. So definitely those who are just joining, yeah, welcome to like my YouTube channel, and I try to teach things related to JavaScript, React, and all these other web related programming, right? Languages and frameworks and all the other like so on. So I started something last week around the nextjs project that I just want to work on, all right? And I'm just going to quickly pick up from there. All right, we already have the route working. So majorly what I'll be doing today is to try to just set up the to make the route functional, right? Where you can register, you can sign up, and you can reset the password and all. So the goal is to try to implement all the flows necessary. So the project is called Beauty Forever, and yeah, I think I was doing some playing around with the code base. Let's do a git diff. Let's see where we are. So we actually have like something for the register, route, login, forgot password, and reset. So the idea is to see if we can make this full functional, right, as much as possible. And also, I did some playing around during the week around, okay, since React 19 is coming and we will be migrating from using use ref forward ref, right, to just passing ref as a prop directly. So I was trying to look for a way to get that to work. All right, so um, yeah, I'm going to just revert back since the code base is not React 19, right? I don't think the code base is React 19 yet, but when we get to React 19, there won't be React dot forward ref anymore. So we'll have to clean up the code base um to ensure that we are not using forward ref. So for example, I think if you check here, the former thing should have been here would have been okay. I think yeah, the former thing would have been, let's see, instead of just function and badge button, that would have been what do we have before? What we had before was React Forward Ref. So I think I was trying to use a code mod to see. For those who don't know what code mod is something where you can code JS shift or something like that. Let me see. JS shift. So it's a way to how do I call it now? It's a way to just it's a way to just to migrate code from maybe like when a new version of another code. So a code mod, let's see. I should be able to get code mod, meaning of code mod, meaning of code mods. So code mods helps us. There are transformations that you run on your code base programmatically, and this allow you a large number of changes programmatically applied. For example, now, right, if you have a app that is using Create React app before, you can use a code mod to migrate it to Vite or Next.js. So those are code mods. So I think I used, for example, now this is Next.js code mod, right? Right, if you run this, then this can do some migrations for you. So it will migrate image component. This is for migrating image component. This is to migrate view data to viewport. So this is the commands where you used to run it. And most of the code mods that you probably come across, right, in the JavaScript ecosystem or JavaScript space are actually built with JS. There's this package. There's this package built by. There's this package built by React, which is JS Code Shift, right? So is a package that powers is a package that powers most of the code mods that you probably see around JS Code Shift. It's quite powerful. I've used it on a couple of code mods that I run. So, but I was just playing around it to see how it works and all right. So I think I used one to just migrate to React to Ref. I think it's a popular website. I can't remember the exact website I saw the code mod that I used. Codemod.com or something like that. I know I did something recently. I know, yeah, I think it's codemod.com. They have some nice migrations. So migrate to React 19 basically. They have migrate to React 19. So these are the ones here. So I think I ran the one for forward ref. Yeah, I think I ran the one for forward ref. Yeah, I ran this one for the forward ref. So it's just a way to just instead of something using forward ref like this, right? The function just runs since ref is now a prop that you can just use directly in your code base. So if you want to know more about the way they build all these code mods, right, you can go to jscodeshift.com. I think it was built by Facebook. This was built by Facebook, and it's pretty very powerful. I think so. I've not. I'm hoping to build one. I've just been using the ones that others have built. I've not built my own in particular. So, but it's just hacking into like the code you have written, and most especially the abstract syntax tree, right? And using that to so you do something like this, and then you can find variables or you can find some things in your code base as the case may be. So it's quite very powerful, right? In that it can rename something, it can transform. But the major thing it's doing is hacking into the AST. So if you don't know what the AST is abstract syntax tree, and AST Explorer. There's another tool called AST Explorer, right? Which can you can give it a code, right, and it can help you to understand how this code is broken down into several portions. For example, if I copy this whole thing now into abstract syntax tree, it will help me to. So I need to turn it into I think probably React. Let's support React. Yeah, it should support React. I can't find React there though, but or GSX. I'm not sure it supports GSX. Okay, I think it can see. Should be a way to use pass something I can use GSX or is there GSX here? There should be GSX here. So you telling me these guys did not build something for GSX? Really? No GSX version of this. Let's see TypeScript. Did we change it to TypeScript? Okay, I think we have some. So that's tried to that's tried to do some stuff on it. I list all the imports. I think it's listing all the 5 imports. It's just broken down the code into different versions that you can. I mean, it's just about the goal of abstract syntax tree is like breaking the code down into a tree format, the way the compiler sort of understands the code. Yeah, well, so that is that. If you want to get into it, you can check this JS code shift, and then you can really understand what is going on behind the scene. So I'm also going to revert this code base back to what it was. I think I'm going to do a git restore. All right, I'm going to do a git restore src /components. And yeah, you do that. then I should be free of all the code mods that I did. Then I can start the application, and I can start the application with dev, and then you see what we have. We have something just little and functional. Uh, so it's a Next.js 14 app, and it uses Tailwind behind the scene, which is supposed to we're supposed to have something that works like this. So the whole idea is to try to sorry, I've been speaking without sharing my screen for quite a while. This is very interesting. So I'm going to share my screen. My apologies for that. So we have something working, and all the stuff I did um was around showing you JS, showing you um all the stuff I did was around showing you different tools, right? Different tools that you can use to migrate from maybe different versions of a particular project to another project. Like this is the AST Explorer that I was talking about earlier. And then this is a particular tool called JS Code Shift, right? I think it's an open source tool by Facebook, right? That most companies use to create the mods that you see around now. And when I say mod means a code mod, right? Something that you can run to help you to migrate your code from a particular version to another version. All right. And there's also codemod.com, right? Codemod.com, right? And they have a registry. So this is the one I ran on the code base there. And also, if you want to join all the things I've been doing so far, I think the code is on GitHub. Yeah, I think the code should be on GitHub. The code should be on GitHub, and it's supposed to be this beauty forever repository, right? You can give it a like, you can start a repository, right? So yeah, this is I'm following this design inspiration as well to create a functional e-commerce project. So that's what I'm trying to do, right? As much as possible. So, like you can see, we have these working, though most of the text is not working as of now, right? But at least I have something that works. You can go to forgot password route. I think you'll see this here. I need a way to bring the logo back. I need some form of navigation as well. Then I also hope to build. I also hope to build apart from just using the normal sign up and login here, I do hope to build what's it called now? I hope to build how do I explain this now? I hope to build apart from the normal username, which is credential sign up, I hope to build a social sign in using maybe something like Google or GitHub. And I also intend to use something called magic links, right? So if you want to know more about them, all right, Waris, thank you for joining. All right, I started the stream a little bit late because I was very tired, but I still wanted to show up here, so I felt like let me just. Well, thank you for also checking on and showing up as well. So hopefully we can get something to work today. So here we have the login flow, all right? And if you click here, uh, you have the register flow. So this register flow, so there's some text here on the label that is not showing. So the goal is to fix all of that, right? Fix all of that and the goal again is to make the whole login process functional, right? So I'll try to make it functional, and I hope to use a local database for a start. Yeah, I hope to use a local database for a start. So I will be digging into Drizzle today. This will be the first time I'm going to be using it as well. So wish me all the best. But I know that they have I know they have some nice provisions that we can use, right? I think we should be able to use my local a local version of all this DB. Yeah, I believe so. So in case we run into any problem, I'll be coming into some of these videos but I'm going to be using the MySQL version of this. Um, this is the MySQL version of this. Yeah, it's supposed to be an interesting ride. So let's can't wait to get all of these working. Right. So yeah, I'm just going to use this is what I'm going to use. Just going to connect to a local this is a local DB. Yeah, I want to use a local DB. Then eventually we can go to planet scale. All right. I'll go to planet scale. I don't think I have hopefully we can use planet scale. I hope they have a free plan to host a DB online, and if they don't have one, probably we'll just go back to use my Postgres. I'll probably go back to use Postgres easily. I should be able to create a new database, right? Yeah, I should be able to create. What? Look at all these prices here. Don't you have anything that is free? Uh, oh my god, these prices are too much. These prices are too much. The more reason why I have to still stay with my local DB for now until I am ready to host. I'm going to look for a very cheap database provider that I can work with. But until then, let's still and you know that I have a DB one provision from Vercel which I can always use, which is this here that I can always play with. Right, I can always play with this one for a start. But let me just get started and clean up the UI and move as fast as I can. I don't have so much time as I should. So here we have this is the reset password. So inside of the login, we have this here. So what I would love to do is I'm going to move this form to another place entirely. Then I also want the form to want many of the things here to for example, now I want this form to run as a for example run this as a server side as a client side component, because a page is default a page is default server side component. So I want to change it to let some things run on the client side. So for example, this function, I'm going to move it out, and also inside of this function there's a button somewhere there that I'm also going to move out as well. Where's the button? um Yes, but this is the login, right? So login has here we have, there should be sign in here. Yeah, so this is this button here. So what I can do is that I want this whole thing here to become a button. That's the submit button, or let's say sign in button, or sign in button, and we can call this like this. And the reason why I'm moving it into a separate component is I want to run a hook on that particular button. And if I need to run a hook on that sign up, sign up, is it sign up? We call it sign up. Sign up. It should be sign up. Sign up button. Let's do it. Sign up, or let's call it login. Anyone? Sign up, login. Let's call it login. Log in button. And we can call this login button. And this can be, so I'll be running some hooks on this particular button, right? And I think the hook should be a just to know the status of the operation that it is running. That's the essence of the hook that I'm going to be running. So I want to know when the operation is pending. So the name of the hook key is going to be use form status. So before I do that, I would let's take this. It should be the same thing here. Return, uh, return, and then move the whole thing. Move this whole thing into another component, and move this whole thing into another component, and that's going to be, so inside of, yeah, I'll probably just create a new folder called UR, and we can call it what, login. Just call it login form dot tsx, and we can paste this here, and we can export the two out. I think you can just export default, right? Export default this out, and we can tell it to add all the missing import, right? Add all the missing import. Okay, it's not getting all the missing import, but you know that most of these are necessary inside here, right? So we can do this here, and that should be the login flow. And in here you can then import login form, right? I can say I want to import login form, import login form from where? Let's let the computer auto, yeah, import it from app UI login form. And what else do we have? So another thing I want to do here would be to I want to fix some CSS issues. I think there's a CSS issue on this. The CSS issue on this. So for the login, let's go to the login now. Route. Google icon is not defined. Okay. Google icon is not defined. Maybe we should just take this whole thing out. and undo. Cut this out. Um, so yeah, I think that should be. Then we can import the logo. Import the logo. I'm using Tailwind logo at the moment, but then I should find a logo that I can use later on. Um, let's see. So if we go down back to the login flow, we go down to login flow, everything works, but the text, the labels are not visible. And the reason why the labels are not visible is because we have a dark mode issue, right? That is clashing. So I probably will just put, I think I can put dark on the entire page. I think if I put dark on this entire page here, dark, and then when you're on dark, you should do text to be white, right? When you're on dark, make every text to be white generally on every page. I think that I should, is that fixing it or not? Oh, it's still not gonna fix it. Do I have to now fix it based on, let me inspect, because I know that I ran into this issue earlier. So it will be that when we set on this page here, I know that um my preference now, my scheme, you see, how do we call this now? Color scheme. Color scheme. Emulate, should be able to emulate color scheme of light here. So if we do emulate color scheme of light here, so you would see that you would see the text showing, right, based on the fact that it has turned back to light mode. But I need it to, when you are in dark mode, if it's in dark mode, set the text background text color to be white. And I think there's some miscreancies in this UI that I need to fix as well. Let's inspect. Let's go deeper into what we have. Right, so we have the form here. Then we can so we can see that for this particular label, what's the styles that is being applied? When it is in a dark mode, text is black. So this is what I need to correct out. When you're in dark mode, we can still set text to be black, right? So I think we can only correct that here. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's what it's supposed to be. That is when you're in the dark mode, set text to black. Is this correct? I doubt whether this is correct. uh, but generally on all of the page, when we are in the dark mode, we want to set this. I think text white should work. So let me check the general CSS as well. There's a general CSS file here that I need to check. So the color of the text is black by default. Then when the color scheme is dark, I'll just set an environment variable though. Okay, let's see what this is. When the color scheme is dark, the background red start RGB is this. I don't know how this affects. Yeah, good evening, Rolla. How are you? Thanks for joining. Um, let's see. We we have some UI here. Let's switch back to emulate first scheme. So here, when you emulate to be dark, emulate as dark. So automatically the labels are now coming in. Yeah, good evening. The labels are now coming in, so we have to resolve this issue today. Hmm. Um, I think for the main app now, if I set the text to be white, let's go back to, let me bring my VS Code here to be here. So if I set this to be, so something is on the page, right, but it's black, is the text is white. How does dark mode work inside Tailwind? I think maybe I'm mixing it up, but I want to know Tailwind, how dark mode works inside Tailwind, because it's giving me, let's just do dark mode. How does dark mode work? So inside the dark mode, uh, toggling dark manual. If you want to support toggling dark mode manually instead of relying on operating system preference, use the selector strategy inside the media strategy. So it means that if I bring this to be, if I set this to be inside my tailwind config, and we then can go back to, so dark mode. So now if dark class is being applied on preferred color scheme, they will be applied when dark is. So if you want to stay in dark mode now, let's see on the HTML, on the layout here, let's just set a class here so that it stays here and it stays dark here. So when we set this to be dark here, is it affecting anything? Still not affecting anything yet. This is supposed to be dark mode. Probably think I need to understand the way dark mode works here. So that's in the main thing here. Welcome, Adiremi. Welcome. So in the main flow, where's the main? Is it inside page here? So we just take this out. So let's know what we have by default. All right, and this works. So if I then go to login now, login. So for some of these here or here, the class, there's a text block. This text block, and where's the dark text white? You can take this out of the picture, and that should work. So I'm taking inside of page TSX login, inside of the login form, every text, every dark. I think I should have removed every dark colon. Yeah, I should have removed that here. Um, so it will be that inside of all these inputs, inside of this input here, for example, button, we have dark here. My God, absolute. So sizing, color. So we have dark mode, but that is rendered after. So background is set to button background. I think, do we have anyone that said text color? So for dark, right, you don't want anything to do with, just go back to black, right? Basically, right, you can go back to basic black there for everybody. So when you're in the dark mode, right, if dark is set text to be black, yeah, I think for now I'm just going to fix all of this default, all of the default dark mode by default on the labels. I will just remove them by default because I don't know why they are just coming into field set. Let's see. So let's just say it should be black by default for everybody that is using text. For now, so all of the labels should be back, right? All the labels should be back. All the labels should be back. Then inside of the input now, we want all the text input as well, all the CSS inside the input. Inside input. So we're looking for text. All right. Now we're setting everything to be black. All right. Because of the white background that we have. And that should fix all of the issue that we have in here. So the text is obvious and we're able to do what we need to do. So here, start a 14-day trial will be to just set that login form, set the login form to be just say register or sign up register, and that should work. And so if we go to the other routes now for register page here, we were importing some things. So these things here, both logo, both these, they're no longer coming from this place anymore. They are coming from UI forward slash login, and that should be all of them. And also the same thing here. When I want to work on it, I'll move out this register and the other one out. So let's see if we can get the login to work as we can. So inside of this login, we will need to set up the authentication in here now. We need to set up the authentication here. We will need to install some things. Let's check package.json. So we need wait, let me check something here. If I want to use if I want to use credentials, but I want to use a database adapter for Drizzle. So it says I have to do barn. Okay. So let's see. Let's just try to get this up and running. Drizzle MySQL. Let me start my MySQL server to see whether we have something running first. MySQL server. Let's start the MySQL server here. And okay, so I can move this to move the MySQL thing to this place and test this here. Okay, so we have a list of all of these working. So there should be a test connection working. How do I copy this test connection again? Let's see. Yeah, it's supposed to be just the root edit connection. Yeah, localhost 3360 port. So connection name is test. So for drizzle here, we need to install with barn. Since we're not using planet scale yet, we just want to use a local. I'm coming first. According to this database here, can I use my local database? Yeah, I should be able to use my local database. So, let me just try this first. Let me try this MySQL 2, and if it doesn't work, I would have to okay. So we've installed the Drizzle kit. There are two ways you can use MySQL driver. Then we can just try to create. Let's just try to create a folder in our application called maybe data here. I'll create a folder called data, then /index.ts, and all the database related stuff is going to be here. And let me copy this file and put this here. And so this host here is supposed to be based on what my DB connections is. So copy connection string. I think I copied connection string. So this is what we have here. Do we have any database that we can just plug into here? There should be DB for invoicing, right? SQL underscore invoicing. Let's try that. SQL underscore invoicing. Let's just do this, and or let's just say new beauty for heifer DB, and host is supposed to be user is supposed to be root, and host is supposed to be 127 0.0.01 point, and then we should be able to do this. So hopefully so I should be able to use node to test this db here. Console.log db node src app and data and index.ts. Let's wrap all of this inside and immediately invokes function expression async function main and yeah, you can then call main here. This should work. To load an ES model, type model package, and this. Okay, yeah, sorry. Rename to be MJS. Index.mjs. Okay, so the connection is not opened. This is the problem. We have Drizzle Kit. We have MySQL too. So let's just go down to MySQL node version and see. This should work. You should be able to get this to just work. MySQL node type. Quick start. Alright. Okay. You can call it localhost. This is still not the same thing as what I have here. Is it not the same thing as this? Let's just okay, bad DB. So there's no database. Beautiful ever. So we can then create that database. I think we can create a new database. Let's just create a database called copy and let's do this. So I can call it beauty forever DB. Let's just call it beauty forever. And execute this command. Okay. So now if I try to run this now, beauty forever. All right. So it is connecting now to the database. So this connects to. So This index.js here connects to a possible database here that will probably just create it, right? This database here that will just create it. So there's no table, but at least we know that there's an existing connection. Then, so I think getting Drizzle to work, at least the first part of this setting up works. So the next part would be to uh just get, let me check. Good, MySQL, we got this to work. Overview. So the next step is um, to create a schema, SQL declaration, declare your SQL schema in TypeScript either in a single.ts file. So at the top here as well, we can right click and create a new file called db / schema.ts. Schema.ts. And for that schema.ts, we probably could just copy this whole example here. And let's see if this whole example is going to work. So this declares this drizzle ORM. Then we have countries. So it would create a table under that database called countries, and it will have ID and it will have name, and there will be a name index alongside. Then it will create another table called cities, ID, name, country, and this. So how do we run this now? This is the table. Database and explicitly. So probably just copy and paste everything that is here for now, so that I can understand what is going on here. So I'll move all of these to the top. Right, so we have or better still, right, let's do a mix and so this creates another table called user, right? And then it allows us to export out the type of the user, right? This creates a pull connection to that database, beauty forever, and we can do this. So we can then try to play with the database to insert something into the database. Okay, at least let's see. I will not need this yet. Will not need this here. All right, and would not also need all of this. But now, just add all of the missing import. Add the missing import. Add all missing import. You should find all the missing import generally. Add all missing import. So Drizzle will be the interface helping us to create. It will be the interface helping us to just manage the whole of our database in the entirety. So that's what I'm trying to do. And how do we use this? if we have created this, pay attention to the mandatory export keyword if you're using Drizzle this on file, separate folders. No, one file is fine. And check out all this here. Then after that, what else? Let's do a sequence. So we can create, to use this feature, you need to do this here. Migrations, we don't need to run migrations yet. How do you generate migrations? Okay, so the most important thing with Drizzle is that you can use it to create schema as a source of truth for everything. Drizzle Kit is a CLI for generating this. So we can define our schema, which we have done. And inside of this, we can create a db config. We can create a drizzle config.ts. Okay, so let's just copy this. We'll need to create a drizzle config, drizzle.config.ts file, and we can paste this here. Right. So the idea is to make this so I would also need these environment variables later on. And inside SRC, right, inside our SRC, we have, inside the SRC, there should be a db.schemas. So it's going to be SRC db/schema, all right, and we can then say the output is this MySQL. Then we can create a .env as well. .env, and inside the .env we need this. Okay, no. We can say that this is also possible. Let's put cursor here. So I'll copy this and put inside this here. We can put, so for the host, what did we call the host again? We called the host we gave the host a we gave the host this, right, 1024. So you can say this is the host. We can say user is root, and there's no password as of now, and we can say the db is this is the name of the database that we are working with. Okay, and so we should be able to, how do we make sure that these red underlines leave this place? The schema these type db credentials are incompatible. Hey, what db credentials? So how do we run this now? How do we run the migrations? How do we run the migrations? So we'll just run npm drizzle kit generate. So it's supposed to be npx drizzle drizzle kit migrate. No config provided using default path. We're not using password. So if you're not using password, what do we say? There's no password. There's no password for the connection that we're using. There's no password. Ah. So because there's no password, let's just take password out of the picture and we'll try to run the generate again. So to run the kit, this is not working. Yeah, we run this. So it's not seeing this file here. So inside of this place, src, and it should be able to do a db and schema out of this here. And we should be able to do that. Why can't I generate? So it's saying that can't find this here. So the migrations is supposed to be some interesting. It's supposed to just kind of like create the tables for us. Basically, that's what the migration is supposed to be. Let's see. How do we fix this? Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's see. Drizzle ORM. So we are looking for, it is looking for metal. The command says we should do, whenever you're applying changes to this, drizzle kit generate. Yeah, why is generate not working? Uh, so we have three tables generated for us, which is cities, countries, and users, just for a start. So if we go back to the database, yeah, we should be able to see those tables. Are we able to see? Okay, it just generated the migrations. It necessarily wouldn't create the table. I think so. Yeah, it will not create those things. So what will now happen will be that, let's check drizzle. Yeah. So I can paste this code. Now, this is an SQL code. I think we can now paste this code into our, I can paste this code here to run this here. So this will now be the code that will create our table for us. But there should be a way to apply migrations from drizzle at the drizzle level. Okay, drizzle kit migrate. Let's see, drizzle kit migrate. So error referencing country ID and referencing column in foreign key. These are incompatible. Okay, I'm just trying to, let me take out the relationship between those tables. So in the schema, we have countries, primary key, and this. Where in the city, you have a ID that is serial, and it now has a country that is referencing countries. It's referencing countries ID, and then you have a what's it called now? You have another user. So these are the three tables that we have. So know why this is supposed to be this odd. So it's saying that referencing column country ID and referencing and referenced column ID in foreign key constraint under cities are incompatible. So let's see. Did he attempt to create a table? So it attempted to create this table. So there's a table cities, there's a table countries, and there's a table users, and there's a table called database migrations, right, which contains, yeah, so at least we have something that works. Yes, it's able to create, but the migrations are not complete, so I'm not going to create a relationship for now between these tables. I'm just going to take the relationship out for now until I know how to work with it. And under user, so if I run the generate again, if I run the drizzle generate again. Let's see, it's going to generate. And if I run migrate, so how do we delete everything again, Seth? Now, how do we tell drizzle to delete everything in the database? Maybe just delete all the tables. Delete all tables in the database. All tables in the DB. Maybe we should just manually do this. I'm just going to let me manually delete all the tables for now. I'm going to manually delete all the tables. Or better still, drop. I think it should be drop. Drop. I could drop table. Right. I could drop table. Drop table. Drop table. Cities. And I should be able to run that. How does the drop table command works again? Drop table if it exists. If it exists. Let's copy this. This. So you want to do use beauty forever. Beauty forever. But I can't say this. I can say users drop this, and I can say drizzle migrations. Drop this. Yeah. So we've deleted all the tables in the DB. And let me try to run these migrations again. Migrate. So I thought we just removed all the relationships. Right. Okay. How can we delete everything? Yeah. So I am finding a way to just migrate and delete the migrations easily. Because let's see. So I've created all the tables again. So this is duplicate this for cities, duplicate these for countries, and duplicate these for users. Okay, so I can I delete drizzle kit help because it's like migrate, push, studio check, drop. So can we specify migrate and specify some things to hit there? Whether you want it to be the latest one. Alter table city and drop foreign key. Oh my god. Yes, welcome everybody. I'm trying to set up Drizzle into this project so that I can carry out the authentication, and it is proving so very fun. I've been able to connect to at least Drizzle I know it's working, and this is like these are the generated code, right? We call this migrations that Drizzle generated for me, right? So my only problem is that I'm trying to run the latest migration and it's not running. So push. Let me do drizzle kit push. Did you generate another? Generate another one. So let's say drizzle kit generate should not find any changes. Yeah, no changes found. Then migrate should then migrate. Alright. Table exists error. Let's just drop everything. Alright. So just do migrate again. The referencing column and column ID inferring key constraints are incompatible. Huh. I've forgotten how to fix this error though. There's a way to. I said don't create constraints anymore. Let me see something first. If it can migrate, then I can specify to it the migration it should run. 001 0000. It's still the same migration that's trying to run. Uh, Maybe we should just I'm just gonna copy this again and use this whole thing because I don't know why I cannot have. And this is supposed to be my SQL root, and it's just going to be root at. Then this is supposed to be 330. The port should be 330. What is the port again? How can I get the port? 3306. 3306. 3306. And the name of the DB is this paste here. So let's make this a proper database URL. And if we sort of let me delete the whole thing. I'm going to try to delete the whole thing here. And let's see. And let me change the schema to this particular old thing here. Change the schema to this very thing here. So here we have here we have MySQL table, create a user, ID, email, name, email verified, image, and we have accounts, and then we have sessions, we have verification tokens, and we have authenticators table. All right. So I think the next thing would be to tell it to don't save. So I need to install some things as well to make it easy for us to set the whole thing up here. So I need to install just do some installations here for the installations here. Um, New tab, just the installations. Copy this. So let's clear this, paste this on hard. Next start. Then we can bring this here to, let's just do this to bring this to, we have this installed as well. Then we can um, create a auth.ts file, auth.ts file. So if we create a hot.ts file, create a hot.ts file. So in the root here, we can do auth.ts touch, auth.ts, right? And we can log into the auth.ts and copy this whole thing, right, into auth.ts. Then we can set this up, right? API hot, let's see, API /auth, and we can do a /square bracket, next auth, and then you can do a /route.ts file, which is something similar to what we did. And what else do we have? We have a middleware.ts. So let's just right click and create a middleware.ts. And so this is not gonna work. Let's just say this is auth, right? And this is gonna work here. Or majorly hash. We can then set the, so at this point you don't need to decide it. You need to decide how you're going to authenticate the user. No, then this is where for credentials, if we're using credentials, we'll probably be talking to the hot database here. Or if we're using the database approach here, let's see. Let's see. So to configure this, create your schema, install the supported driver, right? Then create a TS config, then generate the initial migrations, and apply the migrations using the functions. So let's see what this looks like. This is the TS here. So inside of our adapter, it's going to look like this. Let's just pull this up into the adapter file. Auth.ts file would then be something like this. So we need to install this, and we need our schema is going to be at db schema, and we need Born to install this up. So Born had this, and then we have this here. You, so if we want to set up the host, if you want to use your own tables, you can pass the second parameter to the drizzle. Okay. And with your schema now in your code, you need to migrate your database to your schema. An example is this. This will run migrations on the database, keeping all the ones already applied. That's interesting. So now I think the only thing I need to do is to try to, since there's the drizzle adapter here, if we want to log in, do we still go ahead with the credentials? I think we'll still go ahead with the credentials inside of this place, right? Using our credentials based on the documentation. So the documentation says that if we're using credentials, I'm coming. Let me check whether I have Drizzle ORM and all of these things installed as a package.json. Do I have Drizzle ORM? Drizzle ORM, right? Then do I have Drizzle for what? Right. Okay. So I think those ones are there. Again, for the database, account, sessions, verification tokens, and user. So this is the structure of what is inside the auth schema. And if we want to go with credentials, we'll have to follow the importing of these credentials at the top of our auth ts, and then we can do credentials as a function with object, and inside of the credentials we can do lowercase credential, right? You can specify which field to be submitted by adding the credential. So let's just bring this in. Let's bring this into our work, right, which is the default here. And so after this credential, we can then set up the function to authorize. Set up the function to authorize, which is what authorize, and that's going to be our same credentials, and it is going to be, so this is a copy of what it is expecting. This is the copy of what it's expecting. Let's see what this is. Set user to be null. All right. Sort and hash the password. Get user from DB. Right. And if there is no user, throw an error that user is not found, and then you can return user. So this get user from DB is going to be the one that goes through to Drizzle, right? This will go through Drizzle query, Drizzle query. And this sorting and hashing can also just be a function that we can use to. But let's save this and let's try to let me try to log. Let me try to log something here. Let me try to log my credentials here to see whether this is being called. Let's try to log my credentials here. Also, log credentials. And there's a lot here. So under the actions, you can just pass this to the action. So let's see if I can even generate migrations for this particular new schema. Drizzle kit generate. The schema has a problem. So if we want this to work, we can wrap this whole thing in a function. No, we can't wrap them in a function. Can we use, how do we run this now? If CJS, NJS. So should I just set it up to run? How do I get this schema to work now? The schema.ts to work here. If you want to modify the schema or add additional field, you can use the following schema as a starting point. Okay, good. But you are using an async here. You're using some interesting things here. Okay, maybe for this one here, we can just wrap, since it's trying to export out this whole thing, especially the create connection. I think, let me check it. A YouTube video. Syntax. I know that syntax has done something in syntax. And they have something on Drizzle. Let's see, Drizzle. Drizzle. I thought they have like a full workshop on Drizzle. I thought they had a full workshop on Drizzle. Yes. Okay. Maybe I think I have an idea of what to do here. I can pull this out entirely right for this, then this drizzle connection to happen. So I have to set up a connection for drizzle. In the documentation, they have in their own documentation. I thought I saw something about setting up the migration script. So if you want to set it up, I thought I saw something there like that relating to this. So when you create your config, you create this. Yeah. So right now we should just be able to run this with this. Okay. So it just generated the five tables, account, authenticator, and these. Then we can then do um, migrate. Migrations were applied as well. So if I check the database that we have now, we can then see some of these tables created. Okay, now we want to try to submit some form into that database. So I can just come back here and type something into uh, So here I could try to log something now and try to see if it's going to I'm try to inside the login, where's the login form? We would have a action here, right? We'll have a action here. Then we can make this action a, and then we can make it an arrow function. I think we should be able to make it an arrow function. Then we can pass some things to this place. So we can now say action, right? So let's see if I call this now. Okay, let's see if I call this whole thing. Let's see. So I'm gonna type something into this form now, and I expect it to. And can't remember this. Okay. It's not saying. I don't think it is saying the console.log. Where's our server? Uh, so it's saying that. Uh, I think. Yeah, if you do the sign in, right? If we do the sign in, it's supposed to kick in. This is not even kicking in anything. Oh, sorry. Definitely, we have to import. We have to import sign in. Import sign in from that should be hot.ts, because inside of hot.ts, is it hot.ts now, or or it should be here. Inside hot.ts there is it expects this db, because this db is not working here. I might have a problem there, but let's comment this out for now. Let's see. Or let's just say hot hot.ts should be just ordinary hot. We need to make sure that all this comes out back here. So we are inside here, and this is supposed to point to let's just do this here. Auth. And inside of auth, there's a sign in here that we can leverage. So if we try to log this in, and let's see what that is going to at least. The adapter should, even if the adapter is going to fail, it should tell us why it is failing. Unsupported database type is defined in Auth.js drizzle adapter. Okay. So it cannot see the drizzle adapter because of some of the things I removed in there. So if we go to forgot password, let's just go to forgot password. Forgot password, and then we can do all this is now coming from app/UI /login, and yeah, that should work. So I need to unsupported database type. Yes, so inside of this place, we need the drizzle to work. Drizzle is not working here. Can I take this out? Schema.ts. Let's still make this to be. So here, this is supposed to be process dot. We don't have password, but we have database. Database is supposed to be BUT whatever, and that's the database. This is supposed to be, come on. This is supposed to be root. This is supposed to be localhost, and to support top level await. What can we do to make this support top level await? So I'm not even sure this action is working at all here, because so maybe I should just console.log this whole line here. And if we come here to make this work, attempted import db is not exported from db as db. Cannot find. Cannot find. Is it that is a problem somewhere in the code? All right, let's see. Yeah. Is this button clicking at all? Just to even console.log. I I bet it with you that it's not logging anything. It's not even clicking. It's not. I think this schema is causing a problem. Yeah. But I think it should still be able to run without. Let's see. Uh, So this is supposed to be referring to step outside of what? Step outside of. Yeah, what? Step out one more time to be. This is hot middleware and raw. Let's see. Let's just do anything here. Nothing is. The form is not submitting anything. I think so. The form is not submitting at all, and that is a serious bug. So if we click on this button here, it's not doing anything. Is the button disabled? Let me even inspect this. It should not be like the button is disabled. It can't be like the button is disabled. Right? Is it disabled? The button is not disabled, so why is the button not clicking? If we Because if the button is clicking, then I should be able to see what is, at least there should be a log. At least there should be this log here that this operation is getting. I think I know why. This is supposed to be a client. This login here is supposed to be a use client. Use client, right? It's supposed to be a use client, so that it doesn't bother to run that on the server. And while inside of page, this will still be inside of page. This is supposed to be the page here would be right to still be the server thing. So let me see whether that will kind of like it is not allowed to use a use server for to inline or to annotated server actions in server component. Okay, that's true. That's true because if we are specifying use server there, we cannot specify if we are specifying use client. Yeah, this won't be valid anymore. This use server wouldn't be valid anymore. No, it should still be valid, right? Because it should still be valid. Something is not kicking somewhere. This is interesting. Today is so much filled with bugs. Everything I've been touching is filled with bugs today. Everything is. Uh, Let me test something by changing this to an ordinary button. Just by changing this to an ordinary button. Let's just change this to an ordinary button, please. Let's see what that's going to be different. If I change this to an ordinary button, um, let me check this HTML. Did I specify required? Yeah, I mean, even if you specify required, it's still not a reason not to. Let's take out required and let me see if that will be the case. Because apparently it's not getting the form data and the whole clicking of the button. Look at this now. Look at this. So was it because of the button or what was causing the problem earlier? So two things, I disabled two things. I disabled two things. Um, the first thing was required. Let me bring this required back in here. And the route is working back. Then I click on submit. Is it still working? Yeah, it's still working. So what was causing the issue before? So it was practically the button that was not allowing the data to, yeah. So I have the credentials coming in here. So the next thing will be to find to debug this previous button here to check why this previous button wasn't working for what we're trying to do, right? And probably we'll just try to fix that later. And inside of this inside of the auth.ts, at least we have the credentials coming in. So I'm going to pick up next episode from this point, right? So I'm going to try to hash the password, and I'm going to turn the password into some long strings that I can put in the database. Then I'm also going to make a action called this get user from DB button, such that we'll be able to and that's interesting. So we will be able to pass it the email and the password hash, right? And it will check the database if this is available, and if it's not available, it will throw this error. or return this particular user. So that is what I'm going to be doing the next episode, right? I have to go now. I have to go. I'm also going to push this code, right? And I'll probably just do some light research more about Drizzle, like using Drizzle to do authentication, because this is my first time of using Drizzle. So thanks for everybody who joined the stream, right? And I'll see you guys on another. I mean, not anytime soon, but maybe if I can record a video during the week, I would love to. But if I'm not able to record any video during the week, then we'll still see on Saturday. And on Saturday, we should be able to make this work. At least save this data into the local database before we now think about how to handle it at the client level. Yes, thank you for staying till the end. It is bug. Today is bug Saturday, right? We had so much bugs, but at least this submitting is working, right? The submitting is working. So it's to be able to carry on from this point here and do all the necessary details. Thank you for staying by till the end, and I'll see you guys later. All right.